You know, I find myself visiting my garden a lot more right now. And today it is almost 75 degrees and it feels like summer. It feels like growing season. But it's really hard for me to look around and realize that it's not growing season. We still have another month and a half of uncertainty when it comes to frosts. So I'm out here just kind of looking at my raised garden bed and just thinking about all of the endless possibility that this specific plot around this time of year holds. Nothing's in the ground yet. We're just getting ready to go in and start seeds today, which that's what I'm bringing you guys along with. We are going to start our seeds today so that when we are frost free, we will have something to come out and gift to our garden so that it can grow and have our own food. I even find it hard sometimes to articulate what I feel when I'm out here. This is just kind of where I want to be right now. And it's tough because we've got kidding season coming up. We've got all kinds of things going on. I'm going to have to start doing hive inspections, just all the things that I love about living the lifestyle that I do. But I can't help but look back here into my garden and just see an empty canvas. And I'm really excited for it this year. I bought more seeds than I've ever bought, more flowers than vegetables or fruits, but that's okay. Whatever makes you happy and whatever brings you joy in your garden, then that's what you should plant. And I'm looking over this and there's a lot of possibility out here. So before I start getting too drawn into my garden and want to just get out here and play in the dirt, I really do need to go inside and start some seeds. And this year we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. You guys know that in one of the last videos that we got a soil block maker. And if you missed that video and you're interested in seeing what a soil block maker is and how to use it and what we thought of it, that's going to be linked up top. But I'm using that this year. I'm going to be using peat pellets, and I still may revisit my self-watering system. So you've seen the beautiful weather outside, and you can probably understand why I'm having those feelings that are calling me to the garden. But before we can do that, we really are kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature, and our frost date isn't until Mother's Day weekend. So to kind of quench that one, I've got my seed starting station all set up over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set some seeds and get them in there and kind of explain why I've decided to use this type of setup. Let's go ahead and get these wonderful seeds full of all kinds of opportunity into these seed blocks. Varieties. Now the blocks were made from Burpee seed starting mix and some of the compost from behind my barn, which would consist of old bedding and goat manure along with donkey manure or remnants of llama manure, because that's what's been in our field and that's what's been in our stalls, and that comprises our compost. It's important to make sure that when you do make your soil blocks or with whatever you're going to be starting your seeds in, that you're giving them nutritious soils to be in. And the reason it should be nutritious is that when these seeds start to root and grow, you want to have them in soil that can sustain them. And sometimes you'll be able to see throughout the grow cycles of these seeds what they may be lacking in their soil and what you might need to be adding once you transplant them into your in-ground garden, your containers, your raised garden beds, whatever form of gardening that you're taking part in this year. So while I know I'm a little bit behind when it comes to starting seeds here in East Central Indiana, we are in Grow Zone 5B. It's better late than never. It's going to give me a little bit of a head start than if I were to wait to direct sow, because our last frost date here is around Mother's Day. That's when we know we are pretty much free and clear of having to suffer the wrath of Mother Nature's last icy blast and possibly nipping or killing some of our more tender seedlings that we would have out in our garden. So this year I've done things a little bit differently. So I have this shelf system where I've wrapped it around in tin foil, and the reason that I did that is so that it would be reflective of my grow lights on each level and kind of help to saturate my seedlings with light. The reason that we're doing that is so that they don't try to reach for the light and get leggy. I kind of battled with that last year when it came to a lot of different brassicas, so like broccoli, cauliflower, those all really wanted to reach towards the light. We've got a couple different varieties of tomato. We've got Black Krim, Mortgage Buster, Roma, and of course the free yellow pear that Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds sent me. And If you've never grown that, they sent it to me last year. It's fantastic. It thrives. It fruits a lot. So I really appreciate that. And it's nice in salads and salsas. It's just a very nice crisp tomato. Even though I don't like tomatoes, I kind of liked putting those into my salsa. So we've got a couple of different things going on here this year. We have grow lights on the top, and then I have just some regular like industrial lights here on my second level. So this is the only one where it's not specifically a grow light, but also Walmart was out. So a lot of my grow lights came from Walmart, and the one thing I like about these is they actually daisy chain on the end. So if you've got more than one, you can daisy chain it and kind of get a little bit interesting with the way that you put them together, because it can be a little bit of a puzzle piece, especially when you're working with more than one tier for starting your plants. But we've got the tin foil wrapped around, and then when I am done watering these guys, I'm going to put tin foil in the front and kind of go ahead and drop that down and let. That's really just going to help it with light saturation so that they don't get too leggy or they're not reaching for the light. And if for some reason these guys do start to reach for the light, I can either drop the lights down or I can put something underneath of my trays and lift them up to the light and take them away once they've gotten big enough. So while I don't have huge hopes for a lot of these because we're starting behind the times than we should in Grow Zone 5B, it's still better than nothing. It's still another step in self-sufficiency. And like we were talking about earlier, there's still unlimited possibilities. This is me making an attempt to feed my family, to enrich my soils, to feed my animals. It's just, and you know, sometimes you just need your you time. And I know a lot of people find gardening to be very therapeutic. I am one of those people. There's something very just stress relieving about watching something grow and ripping out weeds on those bad days. And you guys are going to see, I did go ahead and on all of these, I used that organic seed starter and I just kind of filled in all of the holes. And you'll see like up here, I got a little lazy and I just kind of like patted it down. So you guys can see we've got all kinds of things going. And I just can't help myself with the seed starting this year. We kind of are experimenting with the soil blocks, but I also got peat pellets. So I have a bunch of flowers upstairs that I've already put seeds in for the peat pellets. We've got hollyhocks, we've got bee balm, we got all kinds of things going up there, along with bunnytail. Bunnytail is one of the seeds that I did win over at Farmstead Smith from my good friend Adrian, along with the black crim tomatoes that you guys have seen behind me. I'm really excited to see what happens with those, and I've got a lot of flowers that I won from her as well that I can't wait to direct sow once the threat of frost has left my grow zone. I'm starting to feel that hustle and bustle of spring where I feel like I'm being pulled in all kinds of different directions, and sometimes that can make me feel either very, very energized or very, very tired. But right now I'm really energized because looking at all of this blank canvas around me, I can't wait to bring you guys along. We've already started our expansion over here. Mark was nice enough to start tilling that for me about a week or so ago. It'll need a couple more tills, but we have so many changes that are going to be coming to our garden. And it's to make life easier for us. And if you can make life easier when it comes to seed starting or your garden or being self-sufficient, then absolutely 100% do it. And seed starting is not rocket science. There's hundreds of ways to do it. There are a lot of different setups. There are a lot of people that don't use grow lights, or they don't wrap their seed starting shelves in tin foil to reflect light. Some people just put them on windowsills and let the natural light do its job. So don't be intimidated if you see this growing season that a lot of people are using a lot of different grow systems. Do what works for you. And sometimes the old-fashioned way in a nice little cup or just a couple different pots up by your windowsill, that can be enough. And whatever brings you joy and brings you one step closer to self-sufficiency is what we should be doing. So I am so excited to bring you guys along for our growing season here on Mulberry Branch Farm. But I think that's going to do it for us today. If you guys found yourself liking the video, if you can't wait to see how our seeds come along, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And what's something that we planted that you guys are really excited to see how it comes along, drop that down in the comments below. Or if there were seeds you thought that I would start that I didn't, let me know that in the comments too, because we still have time and I will never say no to starting more seeds. So until next time, guys, make sure that you're staying healthy out there and being kind to one another. Bye.